Hi there and welcome to Cocktail Mode, the podcast where me, Andy and my good mate Dave pick a retro game and try and pair it with a cocktail. Today's game is Everybody's Golf, Hot Shots Golf to you Americans. Yes, golf. I promise it will be better than it sounds. Yeah, I wanted to do a bit of a roundup on stuff before we get into the episode.
Okay, yeah.
Just because, really. You've been trying a drink. You bought something. I've forgotten what it was. You messed me about it and you tried a drink and you didn't particularly like it.
What was that?
This isn't going well, is it?
No, that's a great start. Is this the rejig of the Uncut Gem that I've developed a fondness for?
Yeah, see, because you tried it, didn't you? You bought something to try the Uncut Gem.
Yeah.
Take it away.
For Christmas, somebody bought me a huge, I don't know if it's 2 litre, but it's a big-ass bottle of Famous Grouse whiskey. And I thought, well, yeah, I'm too polite to say anything. So, yeah, thanks very much. And don't know when I'll drink that. But I knew the Uncut Gem was hanging around in my mind as something I tried and wasn't keen on. But I thought I'll go back to that, give that another try and play with the levels a little bit. And I found if you double the pomegranate juice, and that's the only change I made, just double the pomegranate juice from like a single shot to a double shot. So it's a double shot whiskey, single shot of the raspberry liqueur, then like a double shot of pomegranate juice. It's delicious. Yeah. Absolutely perfect.
Nice.
Really nice. And it's just the sort of the bitterness of the whiskey is really tempered and taken down by the pomegranate juice. And it's absolutely delicious.
Nice. I wonder if you wouldn't need to do that with a better whiskey, because Famous Grouse isn't a good whiskey.
I don't know. I'm not a particular whiskey drinker, so if I could reduce the hit of that down a bit. I mean, you still get the warmth of it. You still get the effect of it. It just makes it a bit more palatable, a bit more drinkable.
Nice. Good tip.
For me, anyway.
Well, no, I like it. It's a good tip. I like it. And the other thing I want to say, you've been playing the new Tokyo Extreme Racer.
I have, yeah. It's great.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm pushing towards sort of the third, because it's split up into episodes, and there is now plot elements to it.
Oh, okay.
So at various points after you beat like sort of various team bosses and special races, you get like a little cutscene. But there's some real good characters in there, and it's quite a little bit tongue in cheek, a little bit fun, quite good. But there's some brilliant features to it. There's now parking areas.
Right.
So there's a few of them dotted around the map, and you pull into it. You pull off the motorway into these parking areas, and there's people you can talk to and interact with, and they give you the clues as to how to get the wanderers.
Oh, excellent.
So that's really good. And then that gets added to your sort of library of information on the people.
So you can look it up again.
Yeah. So if you know you're going for somebody specifically, you can look up what their thing is. You unlock boss cars as well, which you can buy, which are fully upgraded and tuned to whatever they were when you raced them. I've bought one. I bought, the little Suzuki Cappuccinos.
Oh, yeah.
Those little ones. There's one of those that's tuned to fuck for acceleration. I thought, you know what? When I've beaten this, I'm buying that fucker. I'm having that. It's great. But it's very unforgiving with some of the bosses.
Yeah.
I think they've already tweaked a couple to make them less hard, but they're just gone. As soon as you start the thing, they're off. And you just see them get further and further into the distance. I'm like, bye. I hope you crash. But you can race. Oh, one of the greatest things, you can race any car.
Well, any car.
Any car. You pull up behind a lorry, flash it, you can race it. It's great fun.
That's brilliant.
And at the start, they're as good as the other cars.
Well, I guess so, yeah.
Because they're just normal cars. But it's because there's one Wanderer that only becomes available once you've beaten 10 cars in a row. Right. And that's obviously the cheap and easy way to do it. Yeah. You've got tyre wear, which you have to manage. When you get to the point of adding nitro onto your car, you have a single shot that when it's gone, it's gone. But if you pull into the parking areas, you can replace your tyres and refill your nitro. So you can just sort of keep going and going and going. It's such a good start.
In Import Tuner Challenge, I like that a lot. Because in that, I think the nitrous was just one shot. You turn it on, it's gone. And then until you go back to the garage, it doesn't refill, which I think is just such a cool thing to do. Just really a neat idea. Very cool. I'll have to give that a go. I was sort of quite pleased. I read up on it a lot, and they said it's pretty much done in terms of gameplay. There are some features and things we're going to add. Nobody who pays for it in early access will ever have to pay anything more for for the standard game, which sounds to me like you will be paying for liveries and shit like that, but who cares?
Yeah, that's fine. And I probably will.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose if they're good enough.
Yeah, some really, really good stuff comes out. I'll have it, definitely. I mean, I paid 25 quid for it, and I've had enough time out of it now to make it worth that money.
No, I'll give it a go on our family share thing, but I think I'm probably very likely to buy it. I've been playing literally, well, I say nothing but a Hot Shots Golf, and I don't know why I've started calling it Hot Shots Golf.
Yeah, stop doing that.
Yeah, everybody's golf on various different machines, except for when I've got it on the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4, the two that have come out on that, or two of them that have come out on those.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I don't know what the reason is, but you have to install them to the hard drives on these machines to be able to play them.
Oh, okay.
Can't play them just straight off the disc. And one of them, I can't remember which of the two, also wanted to do a 10 gigabyte update before it let me play it. So I had to find something else to play while that was Yeah, so while that was loading, I started playing Metal Slug Tactics.
Yeah, you said.
Which is absolutely fantastic.
Is it good?
I love it. It's very much up my street. It's very much, because I do love turn-based tactics, I also, I just love that they've done something very clever where movement is rewarded. So rather than, it's like the anti-XCOM. It's that you literally have to go running around the map, and it's very, very cool. And you've got 3 characters at a time, and you can line up people so that you get a synchronized kill, basically. So you can,
team
it's
kill.
Just brilliant, and the bosses are huge and brilliant, and it's very much got the old fashioned Metal Slug vibe about it. All that, the way that everything seems alive, everything moves in a certain way in Metal Slug games, doesn't it?
Yeah, that sort of that weird bounce to them.
Yeah, and it's all there, and it looks fantastic. It absolutely really does look utterly gorgeous. So yeah, it was supposed to be my sort of, I'll just try this while I wait for this fucking install to finish. Didn't actually get back to playing Hot Shots. Why am I doing that? Everybody's golf for a couple of days, but I did eventually. The most interesting is that the first one is developed by a completely different team to all of the others.
Oh, okay.
So the first one was made by a company called Camelot.
Yep.
Who got sort of seemed to be anyway snapped up by Nintendo to make all their Mario Golf games soon afterwards.
Fair enough.
Which are very good. The Mario Golf games tend to be pretty decent.
Oh, okay. Never played any of them.
No, I mean you wouldn't. I mean it's kind of you wouldn't. It's not sort of thing you sort of. I wouldn't have done. I can't remember why I did. I think the first one I played was either on the Game Boy Advance or the DS. But yeah, they're really good and very sort of playable and enjoyable. So yeah, that was made by Camelot, and that's what made me realise. The name Camelot come up at the beginning, and in my head I said it in stupid Mario voice, and I was like, "Why on earth am I doing that?" So I had like, Clap Hands have made all of the others. And Camelot are the team behind the first one. But yeah, there's not a lot else out there about them in terms of development. I mean, I think Clap Hands are sort of Sony kind of, or certainly were up to a point, second-hand, what do they call it? Not second-hand, second party, because there's third party and there's first party, but sort of tied to a company but being independent tends to be called second party. And seems to be because they were only on PlayStation until very, very recently.
Yeah, it's always been a very PlayStation-focused series, hasn't it?
Yeah. And I think the only thing they've done as well, this company Clap Hands, is other than 2 spin-off, those on Everybody's Tennis and then Everybody's, it's like a mini game collection. That's not what it's called. It's not called Everybody's Mini Game Collection. That would be a shit name.
I saw this earlier. Everybody's Stress Buster.
That's it. Which I think
is a great name for a game.
Yeah, but I think in other territories, like it seems there's another thing where this game has so many others. It's got 42 different names, and it's called something else in somewhere else as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've pretty much been boshing out the Everybody's Golf since 97. Was it the first one?
97, first one. Yeah. Stress Buster really made me laugh because the description for it just says mini games include book sorting, baseball, boxing, and vegetable fighting. Now, does that mean fighting using vegetables as weapons, or are you fighting against a vegetable?
I mean, with it, I didn't look into it. I should have done. I should have had a look at it. Let's have a little squiz at it, shall we? Looks like one of those Japanese games that would be entirely playable in English. I'm watching hoovering.
Hoovering? Okay.
Yes. I mean, that's that Hoover just hoovered up some tin cans whole.
That's a good Hoover.
I want this Hoover. It looks like you are is that a pepper pot with a knife? And you are fighting against like hordes and hordes of vegetables. I can see, I think aubergines, there's a giant tomato, definitely there's a carrot with a fork running at this dude right now. I mean, there's billions of them. Something's got spiked clubs. Is that potatoes? And these are violent vegetables. But yeah, it doesn't look that tactical.
Sounds fun.
Literally, this guy's running around like a kitchen countertop as a pepper pot with a knife. Just slashing madly at everything, and he just got like a 214 hit combo. And the goal is to get a 280 hit combo. So yeah, I guess, Yeah. Oh, he's been attacked by a very violent onion there.
Maybe all onions are violent, we just don't know it.
Yeah, that actually looks quite good fun. But no, everybody's stress buster. How much does it go for on eBay?
1 billion yen.
So 25p. Whoa!
How much?
That's a lot of money for a PSP game. There's £100.
Oh,
I can get £43 from Taiwan.
Ah.
Brand new and sealed as well.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. How much a heat shrink machine is? It may well be sealed, but I assure you that is not going to be brand new. Hilariously, it seems to be the picture on eBay seems to be taken resting on some unused shrink wrap. Genuinely, there's a bag underneath it. Have you played anything other than Everybody's Golf this week? No, it's the only one I've ever played. So you just went back to that one. Yeah, I put it on because I thought there's no point playing the others for the first time ever. I'd much rather play the one that I played, the one that I remember, the one that I love. And I still love it. It's still good. Yeah. I tell you what took me aback straight away is that it's not that arcadey. No, it's a proper golf game. Yeah. I mean, obviously it looks quite hiding cutesy. It behind this cutesy exterior, but it is a proper golf game. And that just really, really struck me. It's not. Other than, you can, there are things you can do. You can skim a ball on it if you get it, exactly the right opportunity, but you can in real life. So, Yep, I've seen it done. It's just very, very cool. Have you played it much? I did a few rounds. One of the great advantages of the PS2 emulator is you can accelerate. You can skip, basically make the frame rate like 500 frames a second. And I've mapped that to the right analog stick button on my pad. So yeah, it's great for every game because they're all like loading screens and things. Just sit there, hold the button. Yeah, that's gone. Right, off we go. But no, it's brilliant, and being able to play it with save states as well. Because you'll do a shot and you think, oh shit, that was just the tiniest little bit off. I'll do it again, and then it takes you like 5 attempts to get it exactly right, and then it's still just a tiny bit off, and you think, that'll do. I'm happy with that. Completely randomly, I did do a shot where it hit the flag about 3/4 of the way up it, and just sort of dropped straight down into the hole. Yeah. Which I do remember from originally playing it. But yeah, that took me by surprise. I'm like, oh shit. Because I thought it was going way over. I think it's probably built into the game. I think if you hit the pin, it will go in. I don't think it often on a putt it does always because it can bounce off. But I think it wants you to, if you get close enough to hit the pin from outside the green, then it wants to give you the hole. Yeah. Which is fair because that's fucking hard, especially because before we started recording, Dave and I were talking about a YouTube video we've both seen where somebody basically rates the earlier Everybody's Golf games as the worst because they're so hard. Which is annoying and hilarious. But they are the games do get more and more forgiving if you go in, and they are particularly off the tee. It's not that brutal, is it? But I think it doesn't hold your hand though. No, it's not. And this is what I mean about it not being arcade. I remember playing
a Tiger Woods golf game at my brother's house. Couldn't tell you which one. But that, you could, after you've hit the ball, you could apply the spin in the air to correct it.
Yeah, and extra power and things.
That's more arcadey than everybody's golf.
The thing is, they're great games. Those Tiger Woods games from like PS2 era, about 2004, they're fantastic. They're really good fun.
Yeah, it was. I think there were some really good sports games of that era. Again, because we talked before, liking arcadey stuff. It hadn't got obsessed with realism at that point, so there was still, as I say, I have no problem with Tiger Woods golf being that arcadey. But it's when you look at the two games, you would think one of these is going to be realistic and one of these is going to be not, and it's the other way
Tiger
around.
Woods is not going to put his name to an arcadey thing with power ups and special abilities. That's what the animated thing's for.
On the Wii, Tiger Woods 11 or 12, I think it is, might even be 13, one of those, has got a disc golf game built into it.
Oh, yeah.
And it uses the motion controllers after they sorted them out, because for anybody who doesn't know, I'm pretty sure everybody does, the motion controls on the Wii were bollocks when it first came out. And then late into its life cycle, they introduced a dongle called a Motion Plus, and you can also get Motion Plus built-in controllers as well, where it actually works as you expected it to work in the first place. And there are some games that use it really, really well. And this disc golf is one of them. It's really, really good. Really, it's excellent fun. Obviously, multiplayer is where it's best.
Yeah.
But, I mean, pick yourself up a Wii and that game and a motion controller for about 20 quid. Have yourself a fun weekend. I've got about 3 Wiis. Anybody wants one, drop me a message. Competition this episode.
It's a Wii giveaway.
It's not very retro, but hey,
you can win Andy's Wii. You say that. It's like 20 years old.
Yeah, but that's not how retro works, Dave.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
If you can't buy it in WH Smith anymore, then it's retro. And as they're shutting down all their shops,
everything's retro.
Everything is now retro.
Back to everybody's golf. I've played pretty much all of them because it's been 2 weeks since we last recorded. We normally record every week and put out every 2 weeks, but we had a week off. So I've had plenty of time to play these games, and I played pretty much all of them. There are 2 on the PlayStation, the original PlayStation. The second one might be my least favourite of the lot.
Oh, okay.
For no other...
it's old and hard.
Like my Johnson.
It's no longer distinguished.
No, it's just, I just really hate the graphics style.
Really?
Yeah, the sprites are ugly. In that
it was a different developer, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's when it went from Camelot to Clap Hands. And it's just, they've got these sort of very 2000s kind of little deliberately ugly characters. You know what I mean? A big bloke with a massive pot belly and all that sort of stuff. Really don't like that sort of thing. I never have, no matter what the game. And other than that, it plays exactly like everybody's golf with a couple of improvements in terms of technical side of things. I just don't like the look of it, so I didn't play it very much at all. It's one of those where I'd just rather go back to the first one and play that instead. There's that little difference between the two of them.
Yeah.
And that was it. So yeah, then after that, it went to the PlayStation 2. I think everybody's golf, the sound is quite sort of laid back and quite chill, and even the music that is there is a bit like that. There is a bit of dramatic music when you're going for a putt, isn't there? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Right. But other than that, and I think it goes away from that as a series, that sort of quiet, almost sort of, well, I guess, because golf is, it's a slow sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that starts with 2. I think that's a clap hands thing. They kind of definitely moved away from that. And there starts to be, from 2 onwards, sort of more voice samples and more noise in the background and more stuff like that. And it just
okay. They made it loud and annoying.
I wouldn't go that far until 1 in particular, but definitely not in 2, and then not as you go on. But I think it's the most recent one on the PlayStation 4. That is just constant people going, good shot, well played, all in the background all the time, and it's just fucking shut up. It started back in probably 99 with Everybody's Golf 2, and it just seems to have got more and more as the games have gone on. But Everybody's Golf 3 didn't come out in the EU at all.
No.
It was for some reason, and it was fairly launch title-ish. It was in that window, I think, very early in the PlayStation 2's lifestyle cycle. But 4 did, and I think from what I've read, 4 was like an iteration on 3. So it went, 3 came out, and then 4 was basically an improved version of 3, and we got that on the PS2. So I've been playing that. Probably my favourite one now.
Yeah. Okay.
It just does enough. The graphics look really good. It's a really smart looking game, and there's a couple of things. It's like, as you were just saying, when you play Everybody's Golf, when you play against the characters, which is the main single player mode. That's the fun one, isn't it?
Yeah.
To unlock the characters as you go through, you play a character to beat a character. It's 18 holes. Mm-hmm. And without your super speed up button, you have to watch them play all of their shots.
Yeah, sometimes they're fucking awful shots as well.
Yeah, and so it's just, oh God, really, like, I think it sort of plays into that sort of laid back Zen thing. It's no, what was the terminology you used for one of our other games recently? It's no respecter of your time.
Oh yeah, it doesn't give a fuck about your time.
On Everybody's Golf 4 on the PlayStation 2, you play them for 9 holes. You can speed up their shots, you can skip bits. It's just they call it quality of life improvements.
Yeah,
it's all that's good about Everybody's Golf, and with everything that's not good smoothed out a little bit.
I do have an issue with quality of life stuff in general, and that sometimes the difficulty that they've sort of taken away might be what you like about a game.
Yes.
Like there will be somebody out there who loves those long 18-hole slogs against those characters.
Yes.
And you might be looking at him.
You just said it. You sped up these matches.
Yeah, I do now, because I know, things like after you've taken your shot and you've seen where it's landing, your character has to run the 300 yards to get to your fucking ball to do his next shot. So you speed that up, and like transitions between things, you just speed up.
Yeah,
that's an optional thing, and that's only available in the emulator. You would never have been able to do that on the original.
No, you can't. It's something that definitely added in the later game. Sort of skipping to over the bits. You literally, as soon as the ball's in the air, you can skip normally.
Yeah,
and you're absolutely right. It's just so you can see if it's looking all right, you just go, I'll skip to the end. If it's a particularly beautiful shot, you just want to watch it all the way, don't you?
You always want to watch it, because even if it looks like it's going well, when it lands, it could just dip into that tiny little bit of rough at the edge of the fairway, and you think, oh bollocks, that's completely changed what my second shot will be.
We're bouncing around a bit here, but the thing that I remembered playing Everybody's Golf, which is beautiful, it's a great game, and it is kind of the game we're really talking about here, because I don't particularly like 2, and 1's the only one that really fits into our retro. But what I remembered is, because I think we both played that game a lot.
Yeah.
It's one of those games, we've talked before about how I played games too much and spoilt the multiplayer aspect of it for you. I don't think that was ever the case with Everybody's Golf.
It wasn't the case for me, because I'd already played a shit ton of golf games before you ever got it. So I came into it sort of knowing what I was doing and knowing how to approach it and understanding the game, like the tactical approach to, okay, I can shoot for like a 240-yard drive, but come back just a little bit, I'm guaranteed a better lie. Little things like that. Or as it became known, Don Johnsoning, which you will have to explain.
So for those not lucky enough to have seen the genuinely brilliant, which shouldn't be said about anything involving golf really, except this game and Tin Cup, Kevin Costner film Tin Cup. It's absolutely brilliant. It's by, I forget the director's name, but he did Bull Durham and White Men Can't Jump. So he's very much a sort of sports film maker, and that sort of underdog story, very sort of real life characters thing, very much in that vein, Tin Cup, but about golf.
Ron Shelton is the guy's name.
Ron Shelton, that's his name. And it's every bit as good as White Men Can't Jump and Bull Durham, which are both great films, and Tin Cup is every bit as good as them. His nemesis in the film, I couldn't tell you the character's name, but it's Don Johnson.
David. And his name's Roy, because it always made me laugh, because my dad's name's Roy, and obviously my name's David.
But it's great. It's a really, really good film. But yeah, the bad played by Don Johnson. There's this whole thing where Roy Tin Cup, whatever his surname is.
I want to say McElroy or something like that.
It probably is something like that. He always goes for the big glory shot. He wants to make the big play, and Don Johnson is always, play it safe, lay it up, get it on the green, don't get it near the hole, and all that sort of thing. So every time when we were playing Everybody's Golf, and Dave would choose to play the safe shot onto the fairway, and I would try and power it past a tree, hooking it across like some madman, I would describe that as Don Johnsoning. But it got to the point, didn't it? I mean, we played these games a lot.
We played this game a lot.
This one game a lot. And to the point, as when you think how unforgiving it is, and I don't want to sort of lean into that too much, because I don't want to put people off playing, because it's just a brilliant golf game, but it's not, it doesn't hold your hand as it looks like it might.
Yeah.
But I was picking up and going, right, I'm going to play it down there, and I'm going to bounce it off that go-kart track over the river and land it on the green. And every now and again, fucking doing it.
Yeah, like 1 in 100.
Yeah, but with that game, that's like 1 in a million in any other game.
Yeah.
We played it a lot. We got very good at it.
Well, the thing is, you could absolutely, and this is one of the things I've always really enjoyed about it, is you can absolutely rely on the distances it gives you that a shot will go.
Yeah.
If it says driver off the tee will go 220, you hit it perfect, it will go exactly 220 yards unless there's a bit of a slope for it to run down or up. So you can really rely on the distances you're given.
Okay, I think the difference between our two play styles, or Roy and Dom,
Roy and David.
Roy and David. That would just be confusing.
Or Kevin and Don.
Kevin.
Whichever's
Kevin
your
and Don
preference.
will do it. I would, and I still do it now when I play golf games. I'm like, I can land it in the rough 30 yards closer to the pin than if I put it on the fairway. I'm going to stick it in the fucking rough, and I'll take my chances. It's literally, I'm going to get as close to the hole as I can. That's my goal.
That's pretty much how golf works.
Yeah,
like in real life.
Not in like stick it in the rough. I'll put it in the bunker if the bunker's right next to the hole. I don't care. It's just get it. But the most recent one, which I think is Everybody's Golf 7 on the PS4.
It's just called Everybody's Golf. It's like all of those games where they've stopped bothering with numbers. The last Mortal Kombat game was Mortal Kombat 1.
There are, in Europe, because we decided for some reason to drop the numbers, there are 6 games called Everybody Golf. 6. There's Everybody's Golf on the PS1, there's Everybody's Golf on the PSP, there's Everybody's Golf on the PS3, there's Everybody's Golf on the PS4, there's even Everybody's Golf on mobile that you can't play outside of Japan. There's Everybody's Golf on everything. It's the first one on every system is called Everybody's Golf.
Yeah.
There's 2 Everybody's Golfs 2, and that's it. There's no other numbers. Just fucking ridiculous. Basically, Everybody's Golf 2 is Everybody's Golf 4 for the PSP, the sequel. So yeah, I can see why they called it Everybody's Golf 2. The most recent one, and there's a Switch game that's not in the official series, it's called Easy Come Easy Golf.
Okay.
Which I love, isn't it?
That's a nice pun. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to invent a drink and call it that.
They're very similar, but particularly on the PS4, you play your hole, but all the other holes are like around it and next to it. It's very
like a real golf course.
I guess so. Yeah.
So they're physically there within the environment, is what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you can use them with no penalty as you play the game.
I love it.
So I literally play off the tee onto the other fairway because it gets me closer. I might have to play through some trees to get there, but I'm closer to the damn hole. That's the way I'm going.
That is a thing. That's been in other games. I've definitely seen that before, where there's like the fairway of another hole next to the hole you're on. And that's the trick, is to go for that. My main question that I had for you was, I know Everybody's Golf is not the only golf game you've ever played, but what was the first golf game you ever played?
It's a good question.
I'm going to guess there might have been something on the spectrum.
I'm not sure there was.
Okay.
I remember, my main early games machine memory of a golf game is one of the leaderboard games on the Commodore.
Oh, yeah. I remember the leaderboard.
But I never played it.
Good story.
Yeah. Thanks. I can't remember whether it was a tape or a disc game or whether it was an original or a copy, but it used to load to the menu screen and then not go anywhere.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I, honest to God, didn't even know it was a golf game.
Could have been anything with a leaderboard in it.
So yeah, so I guess it must have been a copied game just written on a cassette or something, but yeah, or a disc. But yeah, I genuinely didn't know it was a golf game, but all I remember is it was a game that would just load to the menu and then not go any further.
Love it.
What is my earliest golf game? Oh, Mario Golf on the Game Boy.
Really?
Yeah, the first Game Boy Mario Golf is quite obviously very, very simple because it's on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely, I think, the first one I played. And I think I liked it, didn't love it. Obviously, it's very simple. It's very sort of, but that's what you want from a Game Boy game, isn't it? You just want quick play and stuff like that. So that would have been the earliest. So what's that? Probably 1992, somewhere around there, I should imagine.
Yeah, it's got to be in it. Something like that.
Apparently, I've got it for the Evercade now. Apparently, there is a very good golf game on the Lynx.
Okay.
But I never had it at the time. 1991, you release a golf game. You're going to call it Awesome Golf, aren't you?
Awesome Golf. I like
Awesome
Golf. What's it like? It's awesome.
It's shit.
Yeah. Underwhelming.
I've never played it. I say I've got it on the Evercade now. There's 2 Lynx cartridges on the Evercade. They're quite good. They got they're sort of split between old Lynx games and like new games made on the Lynx for the Lynx. Yeah, what do they call it now? But they're made in the last like 5-10 years, but they're for the Lynx.
Yeah.
They're really good, and so they're good little cartridges. They got a good mix of both. Yeah, Awesome Golf. Now I never played that though. This is a good. What golf games haven't you played? I haven't played a lot of golf games. I don't even know why I decided I was going to buy and play Everybody's Golf. Because I hate golf.
Well, this is one of the questions I really wanted to ask you. Where did Everybody's Golf come from?
I have no fucking idea.
I can remember at the time thinking, that's an odd choice. Why has he bought that? That's more like the sort of thing I would buy.
Yeah, no idea. Not a clue.
Did you play a demo of it or something?
I mean, maybe.
It's quite possible, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, there were a lot of demos around. There was like 3-4 different PlayStation magazines, and they all had demo discs on the front of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like golf as a sport, either to play or watch. And for some reason, I ended up buying Everybody's Golf and absolutely loving it. And I've just searched for the word golf on my game list. I've got 14 different golf games.
Wait, is it Mario Golf, Sonic Golf, Alex Kidd Golf, Kid Chameleon Golf? Is one of them a driving game that's like Midnight Club Golf Edition? Do you have what I think, I could be wrong, I think is the only Dreamcast golf game called Tee Off?
Ooh, I don't have that, no.
No?
Is it any good? Do you know if it's any good?
I never bought it, so I'm not entirely sure if it's any good or not. I think I had a demo of it and never bought it, which would probably suggest that it wasn't very good.
That would follow, wouldn't it?
Yeah. The entirety of the Wikipedia page is Tee Off, known in Japan as Golf Shio-Yo, is a video game developed and published by Bottom Up and Acclaim Entertainment in 1999 to 2000. That's it.
Wow.
There's nothing else on there. It's like one of those unheard of games that no one's ever bought. It's probably quite rare and valuable, but not worth playing.
Do you know what I was about to say?
How much does it go for on eBay?
How much does it go for on eBay?
As far as I know, it's the only golf game on the Dreamcast.
I mean, that's...
Because golf doesn't really fit with the Dreamcast aesthetic, does it?
No, it's not.
Not what it was aiming for.
It is £9 on a buy it now on the Dreamcast.
I'll say it now. Good investment for the future. when they release Tee Off 2030, and everybody's looking for a copy of the original. I've made a quick list in a rough order of when I played them, and they've all got something about them. So the very first one was a game called Mean 18 on the Atari ST,
right,
which was rough as fuck. I remember it being rough as fuck back then.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure if I look it up now, it'd be pretty bad. Good fun. First real golf game I think I ever played. Second to that was, I think it was called Jack Nicklaus Golf, again on the ST. but had the beginnings of a really, really good physics system.
Yeah.
You could bounce it off of surfaces and things. Like
Okay,
it had
cool.
and it had a career progression thing in it as well, where you kind of leveled up your golfer. So you start with, you can only do like 200-yard drives, and you built up and you progress through it. And then the big one, which is PGA Tour Golf on the Mega Drive. Yeah, absolute, draw a line in your life. That game mattered to me. The next big one after that was Actual Golf 2 on the PlayStation, which I had, and I'm pretty sure I got you to play on at least one or two occasions.
Yeah, you could be right.
Because it had excellent commentary. The commentary was recorded by Peter Alice, who used to do the commentary on BBC Two's footage of golf.
He's like the voice of golf.
Literally,
the
John Motson of golf is what everybody's always called him. Yeah, but it was brilliant. It was really, really good. It worked properly. It's obviously it was all just canned samples, but played perfectly in whatever you were doing. It never felt samey. It never felt overly repetitive, and that was fantastic. I'm pretty sure I played that before Everybody's Golf, but I could be wrong. It's definitely around about the same time because they're both PS1 games. And then very quickly going for the rest of it from here on out, there's an arcade game called Golden Tee, which has a rollerball aspect to it.
Yeah, and they used to, for a while, it was everywhere, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was like in
every pub had one. I got on the replay system on a pub in Stevenage with a 180-yard shot onto the green that was like a few feet from the hole.
You definitely mentioned this another episode, whether it made the edit or
yeah,
not.
It's like one of the best arcade things I've ever done. Basically, the local guy who played that game in that pub ran over to the machine to see what I'd done. It's I just fucking did the ball thing, mate. It's just fluke.
I don't think I've ever actually played one myself.
They were really good games. They were really enjoyable. Designed to suck money out of you.
Well, it's an arcade game.
Yeah, exactly. But it's an arcade game very much knowing that arcades were dead. But there might be somebody in a pub who will pump 30 quid into this rather than the fruit machine sitting next to it.
Yeah. Well, it was the era of quiz machines as well, wasn't it? Older pubs had a quiz machine and a golf and Golden Tee and occasionally a hunting game with a gun, peripheral. But yeah, okay, Golden Tee.
Yeah. So after Golden Tee, there was never actually bought it. Sim Golf on the PC was a design and build your own golf course and then play it. But it was very much like a top-down, very sort of macro scale thing. Very fun, very silly, but quality game.
So it wasn't a management game. It was you.
No, it was. You built and designed and ran a golf course, but you could also play the holes as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, that was good fun. And then the PS2 Tiger Woods game, which for me was, I think, 2004. We had and played a lot of in the house where I shared with a few mates.
Yeah.
And then as far as I can remember, the next big golf game for me after that was Desert Golf, the mobile game that I put a lot of hours into, shall we say.
What hole did you stop playing it on?
Well, Desert Golf, the original game, stopped at hole 10,000.
Okay.
So the guy who originally created it created this algorithm that would randomly generate a series of holes and then released it out into the wild, and everybody started playing it, thought it was great. And some people would just get stuck on a hole would generate that you couldn't win. You couldn't progress. So he went and I think he manually tested every hole up to 10,000 and said, right, that's the cutoff. That's where it ends. So you get to hole 10,000 and there's just a tiny little bit of land and then like an open ocean, and you just hit your ball off into the sea and it just sort of goes back to hole 1. And it's like a beautiful moment because
that's amazing.
It's like, oh, I finished. Shit. Now what do I do? Luckily, he made a sequel called, for some reason, Golf on Mars. I don't know why. I decided that it would be Golf on Mars. But I play this game and have played this game for about getting on for 5 years, if not more now. And I'm on hole 48,158.
Jesus Christ.
I have taken 102,878 shots. So my average is about 2.3.
Yeah.
But it's literally, if I've got like a minute spare when I'm waiting for something to load, or just any brief moment of time where I think I've got a few minutes, play a hole, play two, maybe. If I'm stood waiting for a bus or on a bus for like 20 minutes, or whatever, that's 20 minutes of Golf on Mars. It all adds up. But that's been my main experience of golf for the last several years. It's brilliant. I cannot fault it in any way whatsoever.
We've briefly touched on this a few times before. Mobile phone games have got a really bad reputation. In terms of statistics, well deserved, because there are several million awful phone games out there. But that doesn't mean there aren't good games. And Desert Golf and Golf on Mars are both good games.
They're free. They have genuinely no adverts, like not unlike the games that say they have no adverts, and they do. Yeah, they're free. As far as I know, infinite. If anybody out there has been playing Golf on Mars and is on a higher hole number than 48,000, whatever it was, please comment, because I'd love to meet the one other person in the world that plays it.
I played them. I can't remember. I stopped. I think it was probably Desert Golf. I stopped at 1,000.
Yeah.
I just went. I just was like, I guess I'm kind of rewards based.
You need a pat on the head every now and then.
It offers you nothing.
Yeah, but that's the point.
I know, and I hugely respect that. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic that it gives you your reward for finishing a hole is another hole. And that's it. It doesn't matter whether it's hole 2001. It doesn't matter whether it's hole whatever other fucking cultural reference you want to throw at it. That game does not give a shit. Your reward for putting the ball in the hole is another hole, and I love it. But yeah, I got to 1,000 and went, thanks.
I'm glad you got to 1,000.
Yeah, but I did then play Golf on Mars, and the difference is the gravity. Obviously, the gravity works differently, doesn't it? It's not as heavy, and it's a bit more. And I played a good chunk of that. I don't know whether it was more or less, but obviously, I think knowing that it was never going to reward me in any way, shape, or form, going in knowing that is a powerful thing. But yeah, they're just great little games. Really good fun. Explain to our listeners how they work, Dave.
So basically, you have a 2D side-on view of some very orange terrain, which I think for the most part is randomly generated. That's one of the reasons I'd love to talk to other people who've played it, because I'd love to know if your version of hole 48,178 is the same as mine. And you basically you sort of plonk your finger at some point on the screen, pull it away from the direction you want it to shoot, and then adjust your angle to suit to give your power and trajectory. And then you can, with another finger, apply a spin mechanic to either give yourself top or backspin. But it's the amount of control you've got and using the terrain and the slopes and the curves and the gradients of things. It's a beautiful thing. Once you get it and you understand it, you can pull off some amazing things.
It's one of those games for me that it comes back to something we were saying earlier as well. The tools it gives you and the rules that it places are 100%, 100.00% consistent.
Yeah.
And so if you try something and it doesn't work, it's your fault. Because it is so basic, it's not just 2D, it's 2-color. You know what I mean? It's like there's sky and there's ground.
Well, there's plants occasionally.
There are cacti
and rocks
on Desert Golf and rocks. Yeah.
So 4 colours.
But you know, if you go for a shot and it doesn't work, it's your fault because you didn't apply the rules that the game was offering you. They're perfect mobile games.
Yeah,
perfect. Exactly what mobile games should be. You should, as far as I'm concerned, a mobile game you should be using 1 or 2 fingers maximum, and that is it.
But also, it never demands anything of you.
No.
There's no daily unlocks. There's no login rewards. There's nothing. Literally, you open it up, it's where you left it.
It is as entirely pointless as real golf, but just a lot cheaper.
And more rewarding.
And is that you said that's the end of your golf journey? Your golf journey has ended.
There's I forget what you said the new name is, but there was Wasteland Golf.
Yes,
which I don't want to spoil for you because you are yet to play. But
and
that's
so
very good. It's story based. You're kind of unlocking the story of what's happened through playing golf. It's an odd little game, but it's good. It's worth a play. There's also Golf with Your Friends, which Chris mentioned on the Toker episode.
Yes,
that his kids play religiously. That is very, very good.
Yeah.
It's effectively a mini golf game, but the courses are bonkers. There's a Worms themed one.
Oh, really?
I don't know if Team 17 are part of the publishing and developing or something, but the levels are just bonkers. They've got all sorts of weird things that happen, and like explosions and vacuum tubes that you get sucked through, and physics puzzles that shouldn't really work. But great fun. Really, really good fun. And then the only other one after that I played was the very latest version of what is now again known as PGA Tour Golf.
Okay.
Which was hated when it first came out. Came out on EA's Origin service.
Oh, yeah.
And no one liked it at all.
Oh, wow.
For a long, long time. They started to add things back because it's very much a game as a service thing. It's like, oh, here's an online tournament that you can enter, and it costs, 30 quid of real money to buy currency to unlock a hat for your character and all that shit. But it's tidied up and it's got better over time. They basically added in all of the various control systems that have ever existed. So you've got the free click system from the early games. You've got the analog stick thing from the Tiger Woods glory days. So they have done a good job with it, and it's got better over time. And that's about it. That's where golf ends for me. And then we circle back to everybody's golf.
I've got one more golf game than I claim to have.
Okay.
And the ongoing battle we have with the names of games on this podcast. The most recent, other than the Playdate golf game I've got, is a Xbox 360 game that I know for certain I was given for free. But it is called EA Masters Tiger Woods PGA Tour 12.
Do you want to hear the story of why it's Tiger Woods PGA Masters 2012?
EA Sports Masters Tiger Woods PGA Tour 12.
Yes, yeah.
Tell me.
Are you interested? Because I won't tell the story if we don't care.
No, do you know what? I would like to know why that is such a clusterfuck of a name. That reason it's an extra one for my collection that didn't come up before is because I filtered my list on the word golf.
It's not in there. Yeah, it's not in
for
there.
For all its million syllables, does not have the word golf in it. So, yeah, I would like to know why.
Okay, the very brief, Dave's...
Yeah, give us the Reader's Digest version.
Broken down version. Effectively, when the contract between EA and Tiger Woods started, somebody, one or other of the parties, was very, very keen to represent the Masters tournament and the very specific golf course of Augusta that goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted to do it really, really well because Augusta, the golf course, said fuck off unless it is perfect. It literally has to be, you have to come to the golf course, scan it with lasers, and it has to be perfect to every blade of grass or we won't let you do it. It took them 3 years. They scanned the golf course with lasers, which became the standard way for how they do it now. Lasers, yeah. But it formed the basis of how they do these sorts of games now. You go to a real life environment, be it a racetrack or whatever, you scan it with LiDAR, you build up a wireframe model of the terrain. Then you start to fill it in with all the other stuff that makes it. And yeah, it took them 3 years to get it to the exact level where they were happy to say, right, yes, Augusta are now on board, they've signed off on it, Tiger's happy, EA's happy, let's make it, let's chuck it out.
Let's get on to cocktails then. I don't know if you remember, we've definitely mentioned it before, but there's a drink called a Benton's Old Fashioned, and it's you have to make. It's one of these special ingredient number 1 recipes.
Is this the bacon?
This is the bacon.
Lives in my head rent free.
So when we did Jet Set Radio, obviously there was an area in Jet Set Radio called Benton. It's spelt differently. But had I had available to me bacon fat washed bourbon, which is what this ingredient is, I would have crowbarred in that game anyway. That's the cocktail I would have used. But I wasn't able to try it. However, since then, I've been eating a fair bit of bacon and I've got a fair bit of bourbon. So I've made some. This drink is fucking amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is a delicious cocktail. So I wanted to put it in here so people can try it. You can look up the recipe on Difford's. Generally, an old-fashioned is bourbon, Angostura bitters, and occasionally a sweetener of some kind. So it's not that different. But this bacon fat washed bourbon is basically... cook some bacon, pour the fat into a bottle of bourbon, leave it to sit for a couple of days, strain it out, and you've got bourbon that tastes a little bit like bacon. It's fucking delicious. And obviously bacon and maple syrup. You don't have to be Canadian to get down with that. That's delicious. It's a great drink. I just use it. I had the end of a little bottle of Jack Daniels that I got off my mum for Christmas. I had the end of that, and sort of so I if you go on Difford's, it'll tell you exactly the ratios you need of the fat to make the bacon fat washed bourbon. I basically ratioed it down to the amount of bourbon I had, and just used that, so I didn't waste an entire bottle if it would turned out to be horrible.
Just in case.
Turned out to be amazing, so I got an entire bottle of Jack Daniels and cooked myself up 6 rashers of streaky bacon yesterday for my dinner, and now I've got that ready to go. Really, really nice drink. So off you go, Dave. As is our tradition, you can go first, and we know that we don't have the same cocktail, and we've never even come close, have we?
I don't think so.
No.
As far as I know, we've never even had it as like a backup or a second drink or anything like that.
Yeah, I think perhaps last time out was closest, but because I couldn't make some of the things, I didn't choose them. So
maybe.
Go. What have you got today?
Right. Today's cocktail is a little bit of a cop-out in that it's nothing to do with everybody's golf. It's a cocktail that is apparently very popular in America, drunk as a drink in the 19th hole bar at the end of your round of golf.
Yes.
It's a cocktail called the transfusion, which implies a horrific injury of some sort. I'm not too sure why, because a golf ball will never draw blood.
I mean, to me, that it implies that this is a drink that is going to be injected intravenously.
I think that's where it came from. But this is, to break with tradition, this is one I've actually had. I made a version of this last week, and I can say this is genuinely a very, very nice drink. I'm going to be having some of these in the summer, I can guarantee, because it's very simple to put together. So it's 50 ml of Kettle One vodka, or vodka. Yeah. 30 milliliters of red grape juice, purple grape juice, or at stretch Ribena. Wait. You could probably also get away with something like Vimto. But
both of these are black currant flavoured drinks. Not grape.
But they are similar. Yeah, okay. I'm yet to do it with the actual grape juice, but I'm pretty sure I know what this is going to end up tasting like, because the next ingredient is 7.5 milliliters of lime juice, so quite sharp.
Yeah.
And then 80 milliliters of ginger ale.
Oh, yeah, so this is going to taste like ginger.
Exactly, so the fruit element is not as important as you might think it would be.
Yeah.
But that combination is delicious. It's really, really nice. Very drinkable. Just chuck it all in a Collins glass, chuck in some ice. That's it. It's very simple, very easy to make, but absolutely delicious. And because it's vodka, there's no like spirit flavour in there.
No.
So you don't really notice how strong it is either.
Yeah, you don't notice how pissed you get until you are very, very pissed.
Exactly. But it's lovely.
Nice.
It's a really, really nice drink.
Grape juice is one of those things that doesn't, as far as I'm aware anyway, doesn't seem to exist outside of America. We don't have grape juice.
You can get it. You can get it. You can find it online on like Tesco. you might not find it in the shop.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because you can find anything online, but
Yeah.
it's just like in terms of it seems to be quite a popular thing, grape juice in America. There's other drinks. I think no, it's gone. But there are other drinks where I've seen it just it's grape juice, and it's just such a weird grape juice to me. Yeah, do you mean wine? Are you saying wine?
When I was trying to describe this drink to somebody, I said grape juice. They went, "What? You mean like grapefruit?" I said, "No, grape juice. You know, the stuff that's in wine." Usually.
You cannot walk into a shop in the UK and buy a can of grape juice. And I know there are grape flavored sodas in America, and it's a very common thing. But yeah, it's weird that it's not a thing that we have over here at all. But yeah, I guess I
think it's probably because we can't really grow it in our climate.
Oh, of course we can. I grew grapes in my back garden last year.
Yeah, but on an industrial scale, I don't think it's not really done, is it?
Do you not remember, Dave, from the Christmas episode when I told you about how Sussex sparkling wine is
protected origin, the same chalk as blah 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 champagne.
Grapes, Dave, being grown on a not industrial is the wrong word because it makes it sound like horrible, but on a massive. The vineyards are, on a clear day I can see 2 vineyards. Not from my house in particular, but from a window.
On a clear day, I can see 2 vineyards on Google Maps.
On a clear day, I can see a hill out of one window and my back fence out of the other. But yeah, point being, we grow very good quality grapes in the country. It's just it's not a drink that is known of, is it? Grape juice is not something that comes up. It's not something that is. It's a weird thing. I don't know. I don't know why that is. I'm not going to try and speculate, but it's not a thing.
When I tried to get the pomegranate juice for the uncut gem for Soul Calibur, you can find it. You just gotta look for it.
I mean, for as much as need for a cocktail, you could probably just buy some grapes and stick them in a blender and then put them through a sieve, and you've got grape juice, right? I mean, why is that? Surely.
Yeah, I mean, 30 milliliters.
That's nothing. I reckon you'd get 30 milliliters, like half a bunch of grapes, I reckon.
Yeah, probably strain it.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. There you go.
Or use Ribena.
I put it to you, Dave, that Ribena tastes nothing like grapes.
No, I know it doesn't, but like I said, the second you add the ginger ale, it doesn't matter what fruit juice you put in there.
Very true, yeah. I think I can give that a shot. It does sound very drinkable.
Yeah, definitely. So what have you got for us?
So, interestingly, as you just alluded to, as I'm sure the vast majority of people know, the bar at golf clubs is called the 19th hole, either colloquially or literally, depending on the particular golf club you go to. And so I've chosen a cocktail called the 19th.
Ah, nice.
Or it's not even got a "the" in front of it. It's literally 19th. I do need to apologise to the creator of this cocktail, who is Mr. Manaman Singh from New Delhi in India. This is one of we've come across these quite a lot before, the Bacardi Legacy competition. Like more than once, we've picked cocktails from here. This is the 2014 winner from the Indian region. And the reason I've got to apologise to Mr. Singh is because he created this cocktail around the theme of the 19th Amendment, I think it is. Yeah, so in 1919 in America, the 19th Amendment gave women the vote, and he created his drink around that event and called it the 19th. There's a really good video. The sound quality is not very good because it's from 2014 and it's recorded on a phone, and phone technology has come a very long way in a decade. But he talks about how he comes from India and women don't get equal rights a lot, and so he's created this, and it's a really great thing. And then I've picked it because the name is 19th and the 19th hole, which seems a little bit reductive. However, it's one of these things, and this has happened quite a few times in this cocktail, where on this podcast, where I've found a drink that works in one way, but it then ends up working in another way. Golf is still probably the most sexist sport in existence.
Not only sexist, but very elitist in general.
Yeah. And these two things go hand in hand. Basically, if you are a woman and you want to play golf, then even on the courses that let women play, they'll give you very restricted tee times, which means that if you've got a job or children, then you're probably not going to be able to play anyway, which makes it then elitist because only women who can afford not to work and play whenever they give you the tee time. And it's just a horrible, horrible thing. And so as much as it feels like a bit of a stretch, it does work, and I'm all right with it. I think it's a modern battle, and I know it's a leisure sport and you don't have to play, but if a woman wants to play a fucking sport, then they should be able to play a fucking sport. Do you know what I mean? It's
a very good point, and I do wonder if there might be a sort of social commentary aspect to everybody's golf that we never picked up on, like a subtext.
The first playable character in every game is a woman.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick, let's re-record the whole episode. It's a subversive social commentary.
I mean, we shouldn't laugh because it just seems ridiculous to me. When I started looking into this, and again, I'm not going to pretend that I knew this going in when I picked the 19th as a thing, but looking into it, it's so, like, golf clubs that say they are inclusive and they invite women to play and all this sort of thing say, yeah, of course, but you've got to be here at Wednesday at 3:00. You can come and play golf, but and then you've got to play on the tee that's in a position for the men, and you've never played before, so enjoy having a handicap of 64.
Yeah,
it's a very, very exclusive sport. You know, I don't feel like I'm reaching to say that a cocktail that was originally invented to celebrate women getting the vote works for one of in the, you know, it's fucking 2025. What are we doing? Why are we still in this position? Women's golf is an Olympic sport and a recognised worldwide sport. Why is this still the case? There are still golf clubs who don't let women play at all.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's just, I mean, the wider question is, why do you want to play golf? Play something fucking decent. For a long while, I wanted a cocktail that evoked the old quote of golf is a nice walk ruined, which has no provenance. No one knows who said it first. Because it's been credited to Oscar Wilde quite a lot, but when you start digging into it, like so many things, no one really knows who said it first. But it's so fucking true.
It is.
It's a horrible sport. It's terrible for the environment as well, golf. Play it on the PlayStation, not on a golf course.
Yeah, play it on the Mega Drive. PGA Tour Golf.
Dave's quote for the Everybody's Golf episode is play PGA Tour Golf on the Mega Drive.
Or Golf on Mars on your phone.
Yeah. So yes, to get to this cocktail, the 19th, you need a sugar cube, you need 7.5 ml of absinthe, 45 ml of Bacardi, 10 ml of vermouth, Bianco vermouth, that's sweet vermouth, 20 ml of creme de cacao, white creme de cacao, cocoa liqueur, chocolate flavoured liqueur but white, and 20 ml of lemon juice. It's like properly right up my street, this. I reckon the percentage of cocktails I've chosen on this podcast that have got absinthe in it is a little bit disproportionate. I love absinthe as a thing. You need so little of it. I've got 2 bottles of absinthe in my cupboard. One of them's not opened and the other one is only half finished, and I drink it on a regular basis. You never use a lot of absinthe. It's a great gift. If you know someone who's into drinks, into cocktails and that, buy them a decent bottle of absinthe because it will last forever. It's brilliant. So basically you soak the sugar cube in the absinthe. So every bottle of absinthe comes with an absinthe spoon, like sellotape to the bottle normally, or if you've got a particularly fancy bottle, it will be in some sort of presentation thing. But it's called an absinthe spoon, and it's designed to rest on top of a glass, and it's got holes in it. And the original way of drinking absinthe involved ice water and dissolving the sugar cube with the absinthe, and this kind of evokes that a little bit. But basically, you don't have to do that. You can just put the sugar cube in the absinthe in the bottom of a glass, and it will start to dissolve, and then you can just muddle it up. I like to set fire to it on the spoon because it looks cool. So if you basically you set your absinthe spoon on top of your glass of your cocktail shaker, put your sugar cube on top, and then you pour the 7.5 ml. That's half a teaspoon and a half or half a tablespoon, and just very slowly pour it over the top to make sure plenty soaks into the sugar cube, and then why not set fire to it, right?
Don't you burn off all the alcohol when you do that?
Not all of it, because it drips through. So there's only a little bit of alcohol left in the cube, just enough to dissolve it. So and it doesn't burn for very long, and it's just a nice little effect. And then dump it in the glass and muddle it up a bit. Add in the Bacardi 45 ml, Sweet Vermouth 10 ml. I've already said these measurements, but it doesn't hurt to say them again. The creme de cacao 20 ml and 20 ml lemon juice, fresh squeeze. That's about what you'll get out of a lemon. And then shake it up over ice and pour it into Mr. Difford has got a coupe glass. Give a twist of orange peel over the top and a twist of lemon peel over the top, and stick the lemon peel in the glass. The wild card ingredient, I think, in there, because if you go look and you go like sugar, absinthe, white rum, vermouth, and lemon juice. That's a lot of drink at that sort of flavour profile. My favourite drink ever, the Corpse Reviver No. 2, is not a million miles away from that. That little wild card of the creme de cacao, this chocolate basically flavoured liqueur. It gives the whole thing like a different, I don't want to sound wanky, but profile. It's not all sharp and like spirit forward and all that sort of thing. It's just got this little undercurrent. It's almost like borderline savoury little touch just underneath all the other flavours. It's properly lovely. I will say the rating, if you go on Difford's, they have a rating for cocktails, and their discerning drinkers rating is only 2.5, and that was the score before I advised that this drink needs absinthe in it, and it will obviously completely change the flavour of anything. So hopefully a few more people will go and try this drink. I hope eventually people will get that rating up, because it is much nicer than that rating suggests. And I think the fact that there was an ingredient missing is probably the reason for that. It's the 19th, and if there is anything good about golf, it's the fact that whenever you play it, it ends in a pub. So what are we doing next, Dave?
Well, apparently I've already selected it, and we're doing Metal Gear Solid.
Are we?
I did have it in mind to do this towards the tail end of season 1, and then I think I sort of ummed and ahed and decided against it for whatever reason. I can't remember what it was.
Didn't we bump it for the Christmas episode originally? No, that was Gran Turismo.
Well, no, I think I was tied between Gran Turismo and Metal Gear Solid. I wanted to do one or the other, and Gran Turismo won out because I was actually playing it at the time. But I think Metal Gear Solid has had a lot of mentions in other episodes, normally in quite a negative way. The first of the interactive movies where the game became less important than the story being told. It's an early example of Gen 7-itis.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah,
in Gen 5. You could almost argue it's the beginning of the end.
Wow.
Of good games, but I'm sure we'll discuss that next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Metal Gear Solid, PlayStation 1.
I mean, interestingly, I know we don't, obviously we've just proved, because I talked about everybody's golf game ever made for a million different machines, but it was only Metal Gear Solid, if that's your game. No, there were previous games. There was a NES and a Game Boy Color version.
There's Metal Gear 1 and 2 on the NES.
And Metal Gear, it's actually called Metal Gear Solid on the Game Boy Color.
Is it?
But I think it was, well, I know for a fact it's a completely different game, but I don't know whether that was a marketing thing or what. It's a completely different game. It's called Metal Gear Solid.
Don't know.
It's fucking brilliant.
Is it?
But yeah, we'll talk about that next week, because no Game Boy versions of everybody's golf, so I've got to make up for lost time.
You had PSP. You had your portable.
Yeah, I don't like it. I own a PSP and a Vita. They're shit consoles. They're very, very...
Are they? I've never even seen one of those things.
I'll tell you what's interesting to me, right? The PlayStation Portable had a battery life of 6 hours, and rechargeable battery, so you have to charge it up. A library of games that were mostly port, and it was roundly loved, right? The Atari Lynx and a battery life of 6 hours.
Are you sure?
And 6 hours for good Duracell batteries, and had a library of games that were largely hated by everybody. Just makes me sick. The Atari Lynx is a better console than the PSP. The thing for me, the interesting thing, the thing that we both love about the Dreamcast, the fact it was the arcade in your home. The Atari Lynx was the arcade in a handheld in your home. It's just because at the time arcades were much more primitive, so it was. But Atari Lynx has got Stun Runner, you know what I mean? It's got APB, it's got like the best home versions, handheld or in an actual console, of all of these great arcade games, and yet it died on its arse.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. It's not a brilliant console because of the technology, because it doesn't matter, does it? The reason we love a Dreamcast is not because of the technology in it and all this sort of shit. It's because of the games on it. And the Atari Lynx is a brilliant console because of the games on it.
So in an episode basically about everybody's golf and golf games and golf and more golf, you're going to squeeze in a diatribe about Lynx that has nothing to do with anything we've just talked about.
Yes.
All right.
My fucking circus, my fucking monkeys.
Oh, brilliant.
So that'll be that for now. We'll be back next time with Metal Gear Solid on Cocktail Mode, the podcast where gaming, like alcohol, is in our blood. What's the word? Atricious.
That's not a real word.
Atricious has got to be a word.
No.
Right, Google. I've got atrocious.
Yeah. That's a comment on your spelling.
Sorry, the first hit on Google is somebody misspelling atrocious in their review for a fish and chip shop.
Brilliant. I love it.